guys, it's Dro, and I just wanted to show you guys a video of the new setup I moved the Goldfish into. We went to the store about a week ago and we ended up picking up a little baby Pleco. I had another Pleco in the tank for a while that I got from Walmart, but him and a crab that I got together, and they both ended up passing away, which I'll mention again later in the video. But when I went to Petco, I noticed that their water was definitely in a lot better condition than the one at Walmart was. So we've been seeing all this algae growing in the tank, and even though I clean it out all the time, it was just getting pretty bad. So I wanted to get a Pleco to clean some of that up off the tank, and that was also why I got the crab in the beginning too, but he didn't end up making it. So yeah, check out the new Pleco, and then I'll show you guys how Melissa and I built a custom stand for that acrylic tank that I wanted to put them in. It's a 40-gallon. I ended up finding it on Craigslist for like 120 bucks, and normally they go for over $400. So it was a really awesome find, and these Goldfish already outgrew the 20-gallon tank that I put them in, if you remember from my old video when I was moving them from the 10-gallon into the 20. So it's only been a short few months, and I feel like they've already completely outgrown it. So I wanted to give them a bigger tank, and even though I can't really give them the full setup I want yet, at least they'll have more room to be comfortable in at the moment. So enjoy and check out the new Kingdom of the Fish.
Man, I hadn't seen that Pleco in like, I don't know, days, and I totally thought he was dead. I know they can get into some hiding spots and not come out for a few days, especially with these big goldfish bothering him all the time. I had another one in here that only survived for like a couple days. I don't know what happened. I think it was because I got him at Walmart, to be honest. I also got a little crab, and he only lasted for a couple days too before he ended up dying, and he was also from Walmart. Luckily, this other guy, he's doing alright. The Pleco that I just found underneath that rock, he came from Petco, and their water and conditions were way better, and all their fish looked really healthy in comparison to like the ones that I've seen at Walmart. And I don't normally buy fish from stores like that, because I don't like the way that they generally take care of them. I really like the way that the Petco by us took care of them. I really am surprised at how hardy these guys have been, because I got so used to having a saltwater tank, and if I even did this in a saltwater tank where I moved around the rocks like that, half the stuff in the tank would probably end up dying just from being stressed out. These fish were actually living in a bowl for about 3 days with nothing but water, and it was really cold. They were really supposed to just be fed to Scout, but he didn't want them, and they were very little at the time. They were almost like the size that you see at fairs. They came from like a really gross tank with a bunch of dead ones floating around, but hopefully the filter grabs all this stuff that was in the rocks. I don't have to rinse it out too much before I put it in the other tank, but I'm definitely going to rinse them. I am actually going to get all new substrate for the other tank, but my main goal was to have a planted tank at the end, but I know that these goldfish are really not going to be good for a planted tank, so I'm going to just put these rocks in for now and not go spend money and get too crazy on special sand. And later on down the line, if I feel like it's the right time to do it, I will. But I'm not going to put a bunch of plants in and waste money if I know that the goldfish are just going to destroy everything. It's kind of ridiculous how long I've had these guys now. It's been probably definitely over a year. The thing I like about not having any substrate at all is that you don't get all this mess. The tank stays pretty clean, but I can't stand looking at a plain tank. I've tried it. And as clean as I can get the water to be at all times, it just doesn't look nice to me. And I've always kind of felt like having pets like these, if they're going to be caged up essentially, they should at least be treated like a living piece of art where they have a really nice setup and everything looks really nice all the time. I don't like it on display if it's going to look like crap. I guess that part of me also probably has a little bit to do with my reptile storage. At the store, I wanted to make sure that everything always looked nice so that, you know, if people were going to be buying the animals, they knew that they were being taken care of well. So when it comes to setting up stuff in my house, I generally like it to be set up pretty nice, and kind of sucks because I haven't really had the money to do what I really want to do, but soon I will. And then I'll reset everybody up, and I'll show you guys the cool stuff I have planned out. But for now, I just want to get them in a bigger home so that they're comfortable and not in this tiny tank anymore, because these guys grow so quick. So while I'm finishing up gathering the rest of these rocks, check out the video of Mel and I finishing up the little desk that we built to hold the new tank. It's not completely finished yet, but here's what I got so far. Goes. The Placo gets to get put in the tank first. I hope he does well. He looks happy so far. Falcor found his new spot to hang out in. Maybe if I have room after I put all the fish supplies down there, I'll make a little bed on one side for him. There goes the Placo. He's still chilling. So scared to just throw the fish in here. Maybe I'll give it about an hour or so, and then later tonight I'll put one of them in here and see how it goes. I trust that the water's fine. I checked everything. It still always freaks me out putting them in a brand new tank in completely different water than they've been in. Yeah, the temperature is about exactly the same as it was in the other tank. It was maybe like about one of those bars down from where it is now. So it was like right above the green on the first line instead of the second one where it's touching now. So it's not too much of a temperature change for them. They can handle that small of a change. And he seems to be doing all right so far. So I caught the goldfish and they're in the bucket now. And Luna was coming over to check it out. Luna, come here. You see the fishies? Honestly, if I let her close enough, she'd probably grab them. Don't! I had to push her away because she's about to grab them. And they come right up to her in the water. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the water from this tank in there, almost like it's a drip system. I'm just gonna put a little bit by little bit since I don't have a dripper. And then after about a little while, when I think that they've acclimated a little bit better, I'll go ahead and throw them in there with the Placo, who is actually right here. He's doing pretty good. I know he's going to be upset when I throw the goldfish in there, though, because they're always making such a ruckus. But maybe with the bigger space that they have now in this tank, they'll be able to avoid each other. He's still the new guy, so he still gets a little bit upset about being bothered. All right, it's that time. I'm going to let one of them in, see how he does. Hold on, buddy. There you go. Please do well, please do well, please do well. So this is One-Eyed Willie over here. When he was a baby, he used to have his eyeball. We had him in a 10-gallon tank with about 9 other goldfish, and they were all really small at the time, but I did have these coral rocks in there, and I have a feeling some of them were kind of fighting a little bit and were pushing each other into corners, and I think he might have scraped his eye and lost one. Another thing I noticed them doing were, like, the bigger ones would sit there and kind of nibble and suck on the smaller ones, and I think maybe if one of them sucked out the eyeball, that's a possibility as well. He's actually doing pretty awesome right now. This one's a male. From what I understand, because of his tail, you can tell that it's a male. And when I put the female in here, you'll see the difference. She's got like a long flowing tail that kind of looks pretty. As of right now, he seems to be doing okay. Maybe just a little bit stressed out. He's getting some white on him. He doesn't normally have that much white. But overall, I think he's all right. If he does pretty well, I'll go ahead and move the other 2 in here. I'm excited to see them in this bigger tank. They look so small again. Oh, and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff I moved over from the other tank. So I don't have a long enough hose yet to put this completely under, but I don't know, I kind of like it there right now. But it used to be inside of this treasure chest, and it would just blow bubbles out from the top of it. But since I don't have a long enough hose yet, maybe I'll get some this weekend. I'm just gonna leave this up for now. You probably see there's 2 different filter hoses in there. My original plan was to set up a sump down here underneath, but again, I don't have all the parts yet, so I'm gonna be doing this tank little by little. So since I couldn't put a sump down here yet, what I did was I actually put 2 separate filters. This Marine Land was actually one of my very first filters I've ever had. I can't believe this thing's still alive, but at the moment I don't have any filter material in there or anything. It's just running with nothing in there because it does have a lot better pressure coming out of here than this filter. This one here is just a little Aquatech. It's like a 20 to 40 gallon filter, and it just kind of drips down here, so it doesn't really cause a lot of motion in the water, and I didn't want to have a bunch of dirt just trapped down at the bottom. So for now I wanted better flow in the water, so I added that. And then I have this little heater from Pro Life for now. I also have a flat one that sticks to the side of the tank, but I kind of like this one better. It's a little more heavy duty and it warms things up a lot faster. I get scared that if it gets too cold down here, it's not going to be able to really warm up the water enough and quick enough to keep the fish alive. So far, One-Eyed Willie looks like he's still doing pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and move the other ones in. So far, so good.
The other big male's doing all right. He's a little stressed out too. I can see all these white patches coming up. They really do look awesome in here. They were so cramped before in that little tank, and you never really realize how cramped they really are until you see them moving around in a bigger tank like this. So yeah, you see the female's tail, how much bigger it is, and how much prettier it is and fancy compared to the males. And they were all pretty much the same size when I got them, but you know, I think that other male got stunted a little bit since he was all fucked up and he got beat up by the other ones. So now they all do good together. I think when I first got him, because of all the stress, it just kind of stunted his growth. But he seems to be doing great now, and he's always trying to court that female. But then again, so is the other bigger one. So I think she's definitely got some competition. Now that they're in a bigger tank, maybe in the beginning of the year, they'll actually lay some eggs, have some babies. And there's the Placo. He's hiding down there in between the plants. So thank you guys for following along with all of these crazy videos I post about my pets, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I know I've been talking about doing it for a while, and I just haven't really had the time or the money to really set everything up the way I want. So now that I've got the goldfish moved over a little bit, it'll be really awesome to add some more stuff to this tank, and I can't wait to show you guys where I go with this. For those of you who do enjoy watching things about fish and aquariums, I'm gonna go ahead and let some of the video of the fish just hanging out in the new tank play out with some music. And for those of you who aren't interested, I'm not putting anything crazy hidden in there in the end or anything like that, so you can go ahead and stop watching here if you want. And for those of you who enjoy watching fish and aquarium stuff, here you go.